Welcome back to the show, you guys. We are here with Radio Salado, our newly launched podcast and radio show that's coming to you through all your streaming platforms. We hope you'll love it and subscribe and join this crew of tall tale and troubadours across the Lone Star State, rooted right here at the beautiful Stagecoach Inn. History abounds along these pristine creek banks of Salado Creek. And today we are blessed with artisan and leather craftsman I'll let you tell them exactly who you are.
Yeah, my name is Paul Habermel, and I started Salado Leather as an outlet for my creativity, making leather goods.
And you've already grown, Paul. Welcome, by the way. We're so glad to have you here. It seems you've already grown a following on social media as well. That's certainly how we found you, and just realized upon first glance the intentional detail and care in your timeless works that really, I feel, in looking at them, if someone didn't know better, that they could have been made eons ago as well, in their sort of timeless nature. Is that something that you had in mind as you began creating this company?
Yeah, well, as far as the social media part, I have to say I'm not a guru. That I have to credit the folks at Shops on Main.
So as far as your Salado ties, how can folks find your beautiful works here in Salado?
Right. So I do have a space in Shops on Main, just a bookshelf at this point, and try to keep that full. I've also done a couple shows this year. I've done Salado Shire and the Wildflower Festival this year.
I've heard great things about both, but the Shire is a brand new event for Salado. Can you tell us, folks at home, a little bit more about it?
Yeah, it's like a mini Ren Fair.
Uh-huh.
And so people are dressed up as the medieval costumes, and I even dressed up in a tunic and stuff. First time I've ever done a Ren Fair. I've been to one or attended one, right? That was the Salado Shire. So just made some kind of medieval type leather goods, like sporin type bags, dice trays, those little leather dice trays. So yeah.
That's so much fun. Yeah. I believe that was the brainchild of Katie Hill, and then who was the other who owns Barrow, our dear friend.
Right, and the Inn at the Creek was.
Oh yeah, Inn at the Creek. Loved them too. Will and Neil. Yeah, they're so great. And that event happens when in Salado?
So the first one was this year in February, and now they're doing another one, I think, in September.
So maybe they'll be doing it twice a year.
Maybe, I'm not sure if that's just.
Kind of
they're trying to work it out,
try different seasons and whatnot. I feel like they also kind of marketed the one in February last year as kind of a Valentine's type event. It was kind of, I can't remember how they worded it, but I just remember it being sort of like the lure and the romance of sort of this Shire being part of the February Valentine's feel of things.
Right.
Well, that's great. Hopefully they'll bring that event back in February as well. I look forward to it in September. Let's get back to you though, and your work specifically. How did you get started working in just sort of this leather craft? Has it been a lifelong pursuit, or tell us more about that, please?
So I would say I've always interested in creative things. Like I would probably say I would have done woodworking. So I retired like 3 years ago and needed something to do, and I thought about woodworking, still do it, but it's just so hot. And you're not in the garage all the time.
Sure.
So I decided.
And we're in Texas, y'all.
Or it's really cold. I don't know. There's just not much in there.
Right.
So I wanted something I could do somewhat indoors also. So my dad had done some leather work, like tooling. And so I decided to give it a try and really liked it. So that's kind of how I got started.
And so as you were, sort of looking down the road toward retirement, as you'd mentioned in our previous conversations, you just kind of explained, if you would, to me and to the listeners at home, how that vision became a reality, and now you're, here.
So like I don't like to just sit around, and that's unfortunately work kind of gave me the structure that I didn't have to worry. I mean, so I was being told what to do day by day, So now that being retired, I was on my own, and I needed something to do. And so I looked into leathercraft, pretty much learned everything off of YouTube, and But then I did find some network of people who are, got to meet as far as doing leather craft. And there's a thing in Waco every year, Heart of Texas, and they'll be coming this August. Is actually they'll be taking some classes and stuff. But
it's a Heart of Texas
Heart
Leather.
of Texas Leather, yeah. And so there's a company in Waco called Makers Leather Supply, and they kind of have hosted the conference there. And so they have a lot of leather vendors, like the people who are making leather and people who are making tools, all come to there and have like a convention, trade show, and then they have a week long of classes, so you can sign up for all kinds of classes, and so that's just kind of how I got really connected.
Great networking opportunity as well, just to meet like-minded souls. Yeah. Did you find yourself during COVID? I hear more often than not, I think, during COVID, many people were given the opportunities, as hard as it was for our country and everyone that was exposed just to that sort of era in our culture. I also hear, on the flip side of that, folks talk about how that gave them a chance to really delve into things that mattered to them.
Yeah.
It gave them the opportunity to slow down a bit and take time to contemplate and perhaps savor the idea that they could spend more time doing things that really nurtured their soul.
Right.
And I feel like you might have been on some trajectory that feels a little bit akin to that. Could you maybe speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I think, COVID, was a kind of a wake up for us, because I was approaching retirement anyways. And so it was like, I got laid off, and then what was I going to do? I decided then to find more work. But I was already thinking about retirement, what I was going to do. I don't know that I was thinking about leather work at that point. But I certainly was thinking I was going to be doing crafting of some kind.
And so your leather work, it's handbags. I mean, it sounds like you're doing everything. If you're catering to, shires and everything from what shires to
markets. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to still kind of figure that out.
Yeah, sure.
So
well, I mean, it feels like an endlessly.
There's plenty of things to make. As far as types of things and artistry that's involved. Like my things are pretty simple, plain, like plain leather like this. But if I were to go into tooling, that's you think of like the leather belts that have lots of ornate floral and stuff like that. That's a skill that I haven't investigated yet. So.
Well, if it's something that naturally calls to you, I'm sure you'll knock that out of the park as well. I love this classic design, though. What do you call this piece? Is it like a satchel? Or?
Yeah, this is like a crossbody. I'm making this for my wife.
Oh.
She's going on a little trip to New York, so she wanted something to clutch.
And so special
smaller.
Because you made it for her.
Yeah. So
how lovely.
But I brought it to show kind of what's involved. There's stitching. This is all stitched by hand, saddle stitched, and then this type of leather is a full grain veg tan. The brand is called Wickett and Craig, so that's who tanned the leather. And then so hand cut, hand stitched. So that's pretty. Does
your wife ever help you in the design process, or does she leave that up to you?
Yeah. So I've done another purse for her that was to her specifications.
Oh, how cool! That's wonderful. So custom work is definitely your forte. It sounds like.
Yeah, but it takes more time, so I needed to I'm going to get some things that are like in Shops on Main that are easy to purchase for people who are just, passing through.
And for those of you who don't know at home, Shops on Main is a darling, wonderful, just sort of gem in our community. It is a gem in our community, owned by two kind, brilliant go-getter sisters who invite boutique shops to showcase their wares, their creations, and create sort of a market within, a market within an indoor market within Salado's Main Street shopping. And they also have a brilliant cafe in the back as well, and specialize in smoothies and coffees and crepes and you name it. My kids are always wanting to go get their mango smoothies. They've been doing that for years. Where do y'all want to go? Mango smoothie. Shops on Main. Love those folks. So let's delve in a little bit more about, just your walk with this, because, we came across your works online and it stopped us in our tracks. And obviously here at Radio Salado, we love to focus on Salado and Central Texas creatives, and just felt like we wanted to hear, your story and how Salado Leather came to be.